Hey guys, I'm Josh Horowitz. We are on MTV and MTV.com, and this is MTV First, Taylor Lotner. Let's bring on the man of the hour himself. Taylor, coming out here, man.
All right.
Good to see you.
You too.
How's it going?
It's going good.
Okay, so we've journeyed up north to Vancouver. You're in the middle of Breaking Dawn, but we're here to talk about a little film called Abduction.
Yes.
Come September, you're an action star. We've seen no footage yet, but we're going to change that today. What are we going to do?
That's right. This is the first exclusive look at Abduction. I hope you enjoy.
Our first look at Taylor Lotner, action hero. What do you think? Do you buy yourself? I buy it.
I don't know. That's good to hear.
No. I mean, it's very cool to see you in this kind of a role. This is a different role than Jacob, clearly. What runs through your mind when you see a trailer like that?
I mean, it's crazy for me to actually watch the trailer because I've been envisioning this movie put together for so long, ever since the first time I read the script, and just to see it all together now it's really exciting.
What was in the script that made you say this is the one? Because this is a big choice outside the Twilight Saga to tackle something like this. Why Abduction?
It's a great story. It's a great character. There's a lot of great characters, and there's a lot of action. It's fun, but it also I knew it was going to be challenging, and I was looking forward to that.
Abduction is the film. Very cool to see you in a different context here. What's the main challenge of a role like this for you as you approach something like Abduction?
I mean, there was a lot of different challenges. I mean, physically and emotionally. I mean, there was a lot of stunt work to do, a lot of action, so there was a lot of training involved. But emotionally as well. I mean, the character is a completely different person from the beginning of the film to the end. It's a real journey. So I had to prepare for that, and I did a lot of work with John Singleton, our director, and Lily, and the whole cast. I was very fortunate to be surrounded by amazing actors and John, and it was really helpful.
You've got Academy Award winners, you've got a great Alfred Molina, you've got Sigourney Weaver, you've got a great cast, so that's got to be just raise your game up too, I would think, just every day.
Yeah,
right?
no, I mean, it was really helpful, and it was an honor to be surrounded by people like that.
So give me a sense of who Nathan is at the outset of the story.
I mean, at the beginning, he's just a normal high schooler who lives at home with his two parents. He parties, he drinks, he's nervous with girls. He's a normal kid. But I think, the thing that teenagers can relate to with Nathan is he's always felt different. He's always felt misplaced, and he realizes why he's felt that way in the movie. And
something is amiss.
Exactly. Something's wrong, and he quickly learns what's going on.
So do you relate to some of the stuff you just talked about? I mean, it seems like, from the outside looking in, you've got it pretty much together, and you don't feel like an outcast to me sitting here today. But do you feel something of what Nathan's gone through in your life?
Absolutely. I mean, when I was in high school, I felt different. I mean, I never had like a clique I hung out with every single day. I was all over the place. So, I mean, I would say I was a bit of an outcast. So I could definitely relate to that. But my story wasn't as complicated as Nathan.
Maybe these like latent abilities, is this kind of like a Bourne-ish kind of feel? It has like I mean that as a compliment. Bourne films are great, right?
For sure.
Is that something to emulate, something that was on your mind when you approached this?
Yeah, I mean, it was influenced by a newspaper article about a teenage kid who found a picture of himself on a milk carton. But it definitely has a lot of similarities to Bourne. I would say Nathan's journey kind of takes place before Jason Bourne started. Right. When Jason realized, when he was searching for his true identity, he was already a trained expert. And now Nathan's,
we're seeing him kind of discover all that stuff.
Exactly.
So that begs the important question. Could Nathan, in the end, take on Jason Bourne? Death match, steel cage, what happens?
Oh, man.
How does it go down?
I think Nathan would need a little more training. Give him a couple years and we'll get there.
Don't sell yourself short.
It's,
Damon's old.
It's a tough
You're young. You've got youth on your side.
Oh, man. I mean, Jason Bourne's pretty tough, but we'll see.
Do you have kind of who are the action icons in your mind as growing up or even today? Who do you put on a pedestal?
I mean, funny enough, I would say Matt Damon because obviously he is great at the action, but he's got everything else. I mean, he's done everything from comedy to drama, action to thriller, and he's really challenged himself throughout his whole career, and action isn't all he can do. And that's what I tried to bring to this role, and I really hope people see that.
Well, I think that also this role, this character, and Bourne, what's cool is, back in the day, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was kind of the Schwarzeneggers and Stallones, and you guys are a little more relatable,
right.
even though admittedly, you're in 10 times as good shape as me. You're more relatable. I think that makes an audience connect with you, hopefully, right?
Right, I would hope so.
When you're on set of something like this, in the last few years, it's essentially been Jacob all for you, right? Yeah. So is it refreshing to dive into a different role?
It is, yeah. It was different because the past couple years it's just been Jacob, and I mean Jacob actually has changed a lot himself. So it wasn't so different, but Nathan is a completely different character. He's not Jacob at all. So it was challenging, but I worked a lot with John Singleton. We watched movies about leading men on the run, searching for their identity. We watched The Fugitive with Harrison Ford and Minority Report with Cruise, over and over again. So we did a lot of film training as well. So what's
John Singleton? I mean, a great director from Boys in the Hood to Shaft. I mean, he's done it all. So what is that collaboration like? Why is John the guy that helped you with this one?
I think because John, as a director, is incredible with the action, but something I really learned is he's a real actor director, and I mean he really spends time and he gets into it himself. He dives in fully and he gives his whole heart to the characters, and he just worked with us a lot, and we couldn't have done it without him.
We've been getting a ton of Twitter questions. Here's your first one.
All right,
for the day. Okay.
Let's do this.
We're going to start you off easy. Right. What was it like working with Sigourney Weaver and Alfred Molina? Were you intimidated at all? As we said, we've got Oscar winners, Oscar nominees here.
Yeah. Beforehand, absolutely. I mean, when I found out that they were going to be in the movie, I was ecstatic, but at the same hand, I mean, I was freaking out. I was. But as soon as you meet them, no joke, they're literally the nicest people I've ever met. They put you at complete ease, and it was an honor working with them. I mean,
does it boggle your mind in a way that you're a young actor, just kind of coming into his own right now in the last few years, and you're the star of this movie. You carry this movie clearly, and these guys are willing to kind of come in and kind of help you elevate you. You have Sigourney Weaver, who's as accomplished an actress as there is in the last 20, 30 years. Yeah. That's got to be just like a nice ego boost for you that they're willing to help you out.
I was extremely fortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so thankful I was surrounded by people like that, and I mean, it was great. Overall, I mean, Sigourney, Alfred, Maria Bello, Jason Isaacs, John, and Lily, I mean, everybody, I couldn't have done it without all of their help.
Seen the first footage now from Abduction in the trailer. So Nathan's a wrestler, I guess, at school. Did you ever wrestle at all? Or?
You know what? It's funny. I was just thinking about this the other day. I did wrestle for 1 year when I was 6 years old. I didn't even know kids could wrestle when they were 6. But I did. When I was really young, I did a lot of stuff. I mean, wrestling, martial arts, football, baseball, basketball. But I did it for 1 year, and then when I totally forgot about it, and then when this role came up and I saw that he was a wrestler, I was like, all right, well, I'm probably a little rusty by now. So I'm going to have to do a little wrestling training and get my groove back.
Just pick up right where you left off as a 6-year-old?
Exactly.
It's old hat, right? See in the trailer, you have the unfortunate task of making out with Lily Collins. I'm sorry about that.
So unfortunate.
Rough, always, I can imagine. But a lovely young actress I got a chance to talk to her recently is, talk to me about Lily in terms of, well, let's start with the awkward stuff. Okay,
right. So
making out with an actress on screen, is it always a little weird? Is it always uncomfortable? Or can you guys kind of just put it aside and act normally?
I mean, I think it depends. I mean, it depends on the person and your vibe together, because sometimes it can totally be awkward. But I mean, if you are in the moment and you are literally living these characters, and I mean, you just forget about everything else, then it was fine. So it was totally
You're so
fine.
committed to your craft. You're like, okay, fine, I will be in the moment for you now.
Exactly. This is just for you. This is just for this movie.
Okay, as I said, I talked to her really recently, the other day, and we talked a little Abduction. So let's see what Lily had to say about you. You ready?
Okay.
Here we go. You got Abduction, which is coming very soon.
Got Abduction coming out. Very excited. Again, a completely different genre, a different type of role. I'm very excited.
So what, the big question, exciting things for fans is this is the first time we'll see Taylor pretty much outside of the Twilight Saga since the Twilight Saga hit.
Not Jacob anymore.
Not Jacob. Action star, kind of Jason Bourne-esque kind of a thing, right?
Yes, very, very Jason Bourne-esque, of course, with his own twist on it, but it's a complete departure from Jacob. obviously I'm in the movie, so I'm biased, but I think it's going to completely shock his fans and people that necessarily don't know him very well as Jacob, that aren't, Twilight fans. I think he brings an aspect that people haven't seen yet, and very, very exciting.
So what's the relationship in the film? Do you guys start out together? Do you kind of come together?
We've got some awkward past that is alluded to, and we tend to avoid each other in high school. There's always been something, but we tend to avoid each other, and we're thrown together for a school project. And because I'm associated with him through that project, I then have to go on the run with him when everything starts to happen. So there is romance, but it's also like partner in crime, kind of. We're going through everything together. So.
And there are, I would assume, obligatory scenes where it's really hot in a room and he just has to suddenly take off his shirt, or like the air conditioning goes on the fritz or something?
I think that that is very minimal. It's not about him taking his shirt off this movie. There's a lot more that I think make up for that. That's not to say that there's not some steamy moments in the movie.
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that.
Look forward to that.
Yeah.
So, the lovely Lily Collins, nice words.
Oh man, I think I'm blushing a little bit.
Keep it together, come on. No, but this is a young actress we haven't seen a lot of yet, but I mean, she's got all these very cool projects coming up, including yours. What was it like to work with Lily? Was she a surprising actress? Did you know her beforehand, or what?
I didn't know her very well. I'd met her a couple times at different events, but she blew me away. She was awesome. She's extremely talented, and I mean, Karen, her character, she's on this whole journey with Nathan, and I mean, whenever Nathan crumbles, whenever he falls apart, she has to always be there to support him, and she did an amazing job.
Just what any guy needs, a supportive woman by his
side. Exactly.